The system is the secret. The system is the secret. The method is the magic. The process is the prize. The habit holds the hammer. The routine runs the race. Whoa. You see that alliteration coming in there? What in the world are we talking about? Practice is perfect. I'm Bradley Charbonneau. This is Thursday Thunder. Every single week I practice perfection. By practicing, I am doing the perfection. My goal is not perfection. My goal is to practice. Good morning. Here we go. Are you ready? Because today we're talking about how the system is the secret. How to make these tiny little goals, the systematic elements of the bigger picture, of the bigger goal, make those the goal. Make the system the secret. Make the process the prize. You ready? Here we go. So, number one, like health, fitness. This is an easy one because we think of running. We think of the marathon. So if we think of the marathon is the goal, right? So what if we turn that around and we said, instead of the marathon being the prize, we had the process being the prize? What is the process? The process is breaking down the bigger goal into tiny steps, achievable, winnable, succeedable, finishable steps. So for example, and steps that you will actually do, right? We talk about running a marathon. Oh, I'd love to run a marathon someday. I don't know. Some people say that. I don't necessarily. But my dad ran a whole bunch of marathons. And what did he do? How did he do that? Because he ran every single day. Whether it was a block or a mile or 10 miles, he ran every single day. So his process was the prize. And that is what built then, and it can build sort of in a compound way, it would build so that it wasn't just that 1 mile equals, 1 unit of success. And on day 2, it's mile 2 is mile 2 of success. It actually can compound the growth, just like in the financial world, compound interest. And it can grow exponentially so that it's not just run 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile, and now you have 4 miles. No, you actually build and get better so that mile 4 is easier than that mile number 1. Follow? Good, right? Good stuff, right? So the system is the secret. I mean, if you think this is a huge idea here, not mine, of course. And the idea, what am I doing right now? I am practicing the prize. I am practicing perfection. But my goal isn't exactly perfection. My goal is practice. My goal with my Thursday Thunder, with my Repossible podcast, is the weekly practice, is the system, right? And that, in my humble opinion, is the secret sauce to success. How's that alliteration? Good, right? Secret sauce to success is the system. Okay. Hey, I'm going to do many little games with alliteration here, right? Where there's the same sound or letter in the beginning, right? Like alliterative aliens, right? So it starts with the same letter. Let me know at the end which you think is better. Hey, speaking of letting me know what you think, I did this similar talk. It's going to be way different. This morning out in my outdoor stage, which I like to call my Fred X. Fred is a cousin of Ted. He's like he's a nephew, really. Yeah, that's the Fred X stage. That's where I was this morning. So I'll put a link down below to where you can watch the improv outdoor Bradley and his true, sunshiny self doing the same talk. And you'll see it's much different because now I have notes and then I didn't. And we're going to see how structured or lack of structured this is as compared to that one. There's another element of practicing the perfection, right? Making the practice the goal, making the practice the prize. And that is by doing this. I did one this morning. I'm doing one now, later in the morning. And here I am in a different scene, a different atmosphere, different vibe, different energy. And now I have a script that I'm trying to follow and to keep me on structure and making the system the secret. Okay, we just did number 1, that was like health, and health being the idea the process is the prize. Where running on a daily basis, even lacing up your shoes, can be that initial trigger or habit that you then stack on top of each other. Oh, I put on my running shoes. Oh, trigger, habit stack. Oh, now I'm going to go run. Oh, I really don't have much time. You know what? I've already got on the shoes. Let me just run around the block. Right? See how that works? It's super easy. Well, easy and difficult. Easy, but simple, but not easy, right? So that's that. Habit stacking process is the prize. You want to run a marathon, it starts by running every single day. There you have it. Or I'm not a running coach. Maybe it's like 6 days out of the week. Whatever. Okay. There was another one. I think I said it this morning. I learned it this morning. It was the medal. The medal is the magic is the medal. No, the method is the medal, like a medal, a gold medal, right? So the method is the medal. I'm going to make a list of these alliterative terms, and I'd love to hear which one is your favorite. Okay, there we go. The medal is the magic. I like that one too. Okay, number two, and this is more my world. I used to be a runner. I'm not really a runner. I'm not a runner at all anymore. But the analogies, the metaphors are so good that I can't pass them up. So that's why the process is the prize, health, running. There we go. Boogie. There we go. Number two, creativity, the habit holds the hammer. So let's say you want to write a book, or you want to do a talk, or you want to give a presentation, or you want to start a business. You've got this idea, or you've got lots of ideas, and you want to make this big thing. Like in the writing world, it would be a book, or a bigger thing would be a series of books. So that can be daunting if you're starting out with the big idea of a book or the daunting idea of a series of books. And so let's chop that down, right? And back to the hammer. The habit holds the hammer. So if the habit is I'm going to write a page a day, well, then after 30 days, you could have a short story. You could have an awesome article. You might even have, in my like nonfiction world of tiny short books, you might even have a book, right? 30 pages. I would not say no to calling that a book, especially in nonfiction space where you're very niched, very focused on your topic, and you can really bang it out. So the hammer hammers the nail, right? That is the habit, and that nail goes into that piece of wood and builds a foundation to build a wall, which builds four walls and a roof and a house. Now you have a house. But if you think, oh, I want to build a house, that's one thing, and it's a big goal, and that's the goal. That's the big goal. That's fine. That's good. That's important to have the bigger goal. But the real prize is the process. The habit is the hammer. And so we want to hammer that down. We want to hammer out those words. We want to hammer out the paragraph or the page or whatever you can get done on a daily basis. And then eventually you'll have more pages, which means you eventually might have a book-like substance, right? So why do I do this every single week, right? I do this to practice, to build up my clarity, courage, and confidence to go on to something greater. Because let's say I get called tomorrow to go up on stage. Am I worried? Am I nervous? Well, maybe a little, but because I've practiced every single week, it's much less fear, anxiety, worry, concern, all of those bad guys, imposter syndrome, procrastination, perfectionism, because I've been practicing and I've been preaching the practice of practice is perfect. Okay, there we go. That was the habit holds the hammer, and writing a page every single day. And after, hey, I don't say to go for this giant goal, but 365 days, you've got a 365-page book, right? All right. Number three, spirituality. I had picked three: sort of health, creativity, and spirituality, and I'm going to go with it. And so the one I had was the routine runs the race. But frankly, I think that's actually better with the fitness one. You can tell I haven't edited these. I'm going to go with the method is the magic. The method is the magic. And so here we're talking about meditation, spirituality. I'm a daily meditator. I've been meditating for 9 years. Every single day. I rarely miss a day. And if I do, it's a bit like if you skip your breakfast, or you skip your morning routine, or you don't brush your teeth and your mouth feels all like filmy and yucky, right? Your day isn't going to go as well. For me, that's meditation. Meditation for me is my kickstart. It's my go time to make the day what it is. My meditation sets the tone for the energy of my day. Yes, it's that important. I've written 39 books. If anybody asks me which one, Bradley, just tell me one thing, give me one word, one thing I got to do. What would it be? It would be meditate. I know, I have a lot of other ideas, and I do, but this is at the core. Okay. What do we have? The method is the magic. I like that, right? You have a better one? You have another one? I like the word magic, goes with the spirituality, right? Like, because the routine runs the race. That was better for the fitness one. Can you tell I'm improving this? I'm off the cuff here. I'm going back and forth. I'm going way off script here. But I want to show that that can work. When I have a structure, I've got my structure in front of me, and then I can play with that structure because I know I'm going to come back to it. So it builds my confidence knowing I can go off course a little bit and come back, and we'll wrap things up. Okay, so let's go with the method is the magic. Just one more note on spirituality is that whereas some of those things like running, so let's say you run a kilometer every day. So after 10 days, you've run 10 kilometers. Yeah, if you just do one a day. So ideally, right, kilometer or day 10 is easier than day one was because you're in shape. So that's the effect of sort of compound interest or compound growth. And this is a beautiful thing. Excuse me. This is a wonderful thing. And yet that equation doesn't work if you don't do the daily activity, right? You don't do the daily deed. Can we get a list? Can we get a list of my alliterations here? Daily deed, right? Don't do the daily deed, Doug. Okay. So the compound interest doesn't work if you don't do the daily deed. So do the daily deed, Doug, and then you will probably, I can't guarantee it, but almost guarantee it, an effect of compound interest. And what that means, if we get into mathematics for a moment here, there's like a linear growth. So for example, if you, in financial world, if you just took your euro and every day you added a euro to under your mattress, at the end of 10 days, you have 10 euros. Whereas if you invested that, depending on the state of the stock market, if you invested that ideally or in a bank, even if you're getting, your 10%, well, pretend it's 10% per day, which does not happen. But you had at the end of one day, now that 1 euro is 1 euro 10. And now you have two. So that's going to be it's not even going to be, it's going to be 2 euros 20, right? So that's going to grow exponentially. And the curve is going to look like that. So that the more you do it, the better you are, the better you get at it, and the easier it becomes. So there is an element of this with the running. Like I know you're in shape and that day 10 is a whole lot easier, right? And then you know what? I'm going to go 2 kilometers today. I'm going to go 10 kilometers. That can work. Also creativity, you get into the flow, and where it's just like, boom, you're on day 10 and you don't even have to do your whole routine if you're, the right coffee and the right sunlight and whatever else you make of a routine to get yourself going, then it sometimes can just flow and go. And you just boom, and you want to do it because you're in that flow. You're in that frequency, a higher level frequency of existence, of creation, where because you've had the practice, you're better and better, and it just gets easier and easier. Right? Good stuff, right? Okay, where are we? Where are we? We're at the not routine runs the race, spirituality. Oh, so if a big goal, you know what? I just want to have a comment on spirituality here for a moment. Like, what is the goal of spirituality? And there's a great quote. It said something like, to meditate, the goal of meditation is not to become a better meditator. That was really good. And it's not. So what is the goal? And you can get into things like clarity or confidence. You can even get some courage in there. But well, maybe because I've been meditating for 9 years and that it has grown in my ability and my awareness and sort of my level of spirituality, I suppose you could call it. Whereas for me now, the things like I'm enjoying are things like out of body experiences and even like past life regressions. Okay, I'm going way out there, right? Or even sort of, connection at a higher level. And that's what I'm looking for with spirituality. That's what I'm looking for with meditation. Now, does it happen every single day? Absolutely not. It doesn't. It doesn't happen like when I want it to. Like, can I command that today I'm going to have this amazing, medical meditation, spiritual experience? No, it's going to happen or it's not. But I can guarantee one thing I can guarantee is that it will not happen if you don't do the daily dose. Do the daily dose, Doug. All right, I gotta stop. Do the daily dose, Doug. Oh wait, do the daily dose, Doug. Do the daily dose. Anyway, how are we doing? are you still watching this thing? I mean, I love you. If you are, that's great. Thanks so much. And I'd love for you to go check out that poll. I'll do the poll of the different alliterations and then watch the video that I did earlier today. All right, let's wrap things up. I want to offer a call to action, right? And I just blatantly said it there, like a call to action. What can you do about all this? How can you get started? If you're running, I can tell you that one thing that really helps is a accountability partner, like a running group. Well, it helps, it works with all this stuff, right? A running group, a writing group, a meditation group. So accountability, and then also sort of the calendar or timing. Like, are you going to run every day at 7 a.m.? Are you going to run every other day? Are you going to run on weekends? Are you going to write every single day? How long? Is your limit, like, is it 10 minutes or is it 10 pages or 10 words? Whatever it is, have those goals, those daily tiny goals that are achievable so that you can achieve them. And then guess what you're going to do? You're going to celebrate. Okay. So with me, how can I help you? I'm not gonna create a running group, I can tell you that. And a meditation group. If you have a meditation group, if you live in the Netherlands, I would love to join a meditation group. I used to be in 3 of them. They've kind of disbanded, partly COVID, partly blah blah whatever. But I miss that. I miss my meditation group. So where I am, one thing I can offer is writing, and writing group and creating. It's more creating than just writing. And I host a program called One. I like to call it the One Challenge. And the idea is that you are going to create this one word that is your sort of guiding principle, your mantra for the coming year. I'm a big believer that you can change yourself every single year and you can become a different person. In fact, I think you do become a different person every single year. In fact, I hope you become a different person every single year. We've only got so many years, but we have a finite number of years that we are in existence as these people that we are. And so I love the idea of you being different next year from this year. Because I get a lot of people that come into my program and like, or they don't come into the program, like, oh, I'll do it next year. I'm like, hey, that's fine, Doug. But next year, you're a different person than you are this year. In my humble experience, I believe that every person should do a one-word mantra every single year because it's going to be different. I hope it's different every year. I hope that you have evolved and changed and grown so that next year is bigger and better than the previous year. So that's I have a one-word program. I like to do it over a weekend, like a Friday, just a quick evening kickoff. Saturday is the bulk of the work, and Sunday is really wrapping up, finishing, and getting it done. It is kind of a one-word book. It is really one chapter and one word. It's true. There's a lot of elements around it, like the foreword written by someone else, the epilogue written by your future self. The preface is written by you of today, what you're looking forward to do. Epilogue looking back from the future, right? There's even like, I want you to have a book description, like to sell the book to yourself. And we're not going to sell the book. The book's not public. And the audience of this book, I talk a lot about audience and marketing and stuff. The audience for this book is you. So you are the creator and the audience so that you can best connect with your audience. Although I might add that the audience of the book is the future you. It's you in a year so that you look back and you say, this is what I accomplished this year. This is what the things I did, the actions I took to make this year what it was. And ideally, we're going to go over for successful stuff, right? The looking back's not going to be like, well, this year it's kind of terrible, right? All right, what do we got? We have process is the prize, the habit holds the hammer, and the routine runs the race. Although we had a better one, didn't we? We had the method is the magic. I like that one. I'd love to hear what your votes are. The favorite, what are the favorites? I'll put a link down to a poll below. And if you have more, I'd love to hear them. Okay, so leave it in a comment. I'll put it in a YouTube poll, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. And the overarching idea from today is the system is the secret. The system is the secret. The process is the prize, right? That's what we're going for today. And this is, you know these things, like here I am talking about this stuff, and we only learn, okay, maybe it's me. I only learn through experience and trying and failing miserably, especially when I learn the most. But I've gone for the big old goals. And you know what sometimes happens even is you achieve the big old goal and you think like, huh, Is that what that was? All right. Whereas if your goal is the process, if the prize is the process, if the system is the secret, then you're shooting for that, and you will learn along the way. I like to say you're going from A to B, and then from B, you're going to C. If you see watching the video here, like C, S-E-E. That's my real goal. I have a thing called a treasure map, and it goes from A to B to C, S-E-E. And that's going to be where you can see more clearly, like your future, for example, but you can't see C from A. You have to get to B before you can see C. I know it sounds complicated. It's actually really simple. That's the kind of stuff I like to do. Okay. Thank you so much for watching or listening to the Repossible podcast or Thursday Thunder video. I'm also going to put the other video I did earlier today. Would love to hear your feedback on it and which one you preferred. And I'll see you next week because I will be here. Will you?